Welcome, everybody, to episode number 32 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. My name, as always, is Nobody James, and I am again joined by Nobody John. Say hi, John.
Hi.
And then we also have Nobody Kayla. Kayla, how are you doing this week?
Great.
Just
Kind of, yeah.
fantastic. All right,
Lies.
John, back to you. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Have you-
I went running yesterday, long on the trail, and I was like, man, I'm really winded. Got a little bit of a scratchy throat. Fuck. Went home, got the old government provided test out, gave these bad boys a little swizzle tizzle. Nothing. I'm just a wuss, I guess.
Mm.
Allergies killing me.
That's fair. I've ran outside today and I ran outside on Sunday, and so that's kicking my ass. I actually have really bad allergies, and I this is this is the first time in
Are you trying
weeks
to one up me?
I am.
I
I
was
am.
talking
No.
about my allergies and how they
Mhm.
were like slowing me down. You're like, I got bad.
I literally had COVID last week.
We don't want to give a shit.
You're over here like, I didn't have COVID. I swabbed. And you're like, I have allergies. I'm like, yeah, I was dead for 5 days.
Oh, you have viruses trying to kill you? I have trees.
That's true. The entire
Yeah,
world's
that's
trying to
true.
kill John. You have one bug after you.
I
Get over
also
yourself,
have
Kayla.
allergies, though, the regular rest of the time.
Yeah, that's fair. The thing is, I do have allergies, and I'm trying to decide because, like I was saying, I stepped outside today, and for the first time in weeks, I went out and I was like, I'm going on a jog, and I was like, man, I feel good. I'm into this, and I ran my 3.3 miles to the gym, and I did my workout, and then I ran my 3.3 miles back home, and I grabbed my daughter from summer school, and we walked home, and then we rode our bikes to get lunch, and we just had a nice little time, and then I got home and I was really tired and I laid down, took a small nap, and then
It was
I
10:30 p.m.
Yeah,
no,
this is a lot.
when I woke up, I was like, wow, my throat kind of hurts, so that's where I'm at. I'm gonna do my best to bring the energy this episode, but guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to decide right now: am I just tired because I worked out extra hard and had a busy, active day, and allergies are making me feel a little bit sick, or am I actually sick and it's just the tip of the iceberg? I don't know. I could be
Here it
dead by the end of this
comes. Here it
conversation.
comes.
Fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Die.
I don't want to get, too political, but I feel like we do have to touch on a little bit of something. And I just want to start it off with saying that I'm gonna go. I think I ride the line between liberal and conservative. I guess I should change that. I'm liberal, but I ride the line between like a Republican and a Democratic mentality. Okay, so there's like all the financial sides of politics. I think I ride a little bit more Republican. On the rest, I think I fall a little bit more Democrat. But I'm gonna go full liberal with the idea, just off the charts with how the conservatives seem to think. And I'm not pro-choice anymore. I'm pro-kill all babies. Now, ever
A baby.
if you
Oh,
were
sorry.
ever a baby, if you are having a baby, or if you are ever going to be a baby again somehow, I
Mm-hmm.
think you should die. So that's my
Well,
current political
looks
stance on
like
this
I'm
whole
off the
thing.
list then. Ockerts are like trolls, just pop out and they're already fully grown. Sometimes they
You're
rip out. Ah!
And then it just takes you the full 18 to 24 years to develop mentally.
Yeah, body is there.
Is it?
It's there.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're full knuckle dragon, the head's barely lifted up, but you're full size, that's for sure. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go out to like to OBGYNs and hospitals, things of the sort, and I'm gonna protest and I'm gonna have the sign that just says death to all babies. I'm going full exactly the way conservatives think about people that think women should have bodily autonomy. I'm going full crazy, and I'm just, you know what? Every baby
You're
deserves
not
to
even
die.
making a joke, man. It should be like a sign that says, "Is it Putin?" question mark. You know, Hitler question, something funny,
Yeah,
like
you could tell
it's
by the
Ted
smiles on our
Bundy.
faces how funny that was,
Okay, you
John.
guys suck.
You're not,
All
you're not even
right?
making a joke. Here's my
You
terrible
yeah,
attempt at one.
you can make another sign that says, "Thanks for the taxpayer." It's whatever.
Yeah,
Depends on the
I found
parent.
it mildly ironic that we had a conversation about Handmaid's Tale. Was that 2
Yeah.
weeks ago? Last week?
Yep.
last week.
And that's the route that we're going. So Kayla, how are you feeling? You don't have to go into it too much, but how's it feel to know that you're less important than you were last week?
Feels so good. Feels so good. I haven't processed it honestly all the way. I kind of get to this point where the idea of having a felony for an abortion and then you can't vote, and it's just like, how many things can you take away, like as a domino effect? And then I just get upset and just zone out. And I'm just like, I haven't processed it yet. So
And just remember, Kayla, I have a shovel.
you always say this
What the
about
hell are you got?
everything.
What are you doing with the
Adults,
shovel?
This
little
is his,
people
like, anytime I have a
burying
problem, he
stuff.
goes, I have a shovel.
What are you going to do, John? You get what? Is that how you're gonna help her out with the abortion?
Or if somebody finds out and they want to take her to court or something like that, I have a shovel for them too. They're sharp shovels.
Well,
So
I think if again, not to get too political on it, but I think the place that I fall on this whole thing as a white man living in Wisconsin, I think I just feel powerless, and I think the whole thing has just come through to show me how literally useless
yes.
our opinions, our thoughts. Because I looked it up, on a recent survey, 61% of females in America believe in believe pro-choice is the way to go. And with those kinds of numbers, I don't understand how we fall behind, especially whenever we have, again, old white men making decisions for our
It's
bodies.
because apathetic people. Okay, you need to vote on your local and state elections.
Right,
Basically, the
even in
federal
that
court
scenario,
said, hey, you don't, the federal government has no bearing in this situation, so it's up to the states. That's where it needed to happen, to where your state voted with you.
but again, we're locked in for how long now before we have the opportunity to make those votes? So for the next 2 years, we're just stuck with this
Winging it,
decision.
man. Just winging it. Oh,
Say
the
that again?
decision was already made. The decision
Yeah.
was already made in your states. A lot of states had triggers. A lot of states had stuff that was on the book and just like, well, the federal government said so we don't have to remove it. So we were
Right.
all asleep at the wheel, and this is how somebody takes advantage of it. Okay?
Yep. And
The
again,
hitchhiker.
it just makes you feel handcuffed and useless. And yes, you can stand up and vote and hope that something changes come, again, years from now. But it does feel like the world's out to get you.
So
I think
grab
what
a shovel.
I'm most bothered about is just like right after that happened, there was that, like the coach with the praying and all that stuff, that the Supreme Court ruled that he could do that.
Oh, there's
Anyways,
gonna be a lot more snowballing. See, that's
yeah,
the thing. What was it, that sign that said like, oh, what was it? Yeah, they have the right to live at conception, but not in grade school.
yeah. So
Because there
for
was that
me,
whole deal, like you can go to a lot of people have been taking guns into the public library where kids are having their reading, like, the librarian or somebody reads to them, as so people are bringing guns into that because now that's open. I don't know if they're trying to flex and scare people, or if they're flexing to make a point, like a gun should not be here in this situation, but I have the right to do so.
The last thing that I'll say about it, and the reason I brought it up is
Oh
I'll
God.
just let you know where my mindset is. Whenever
You're
this
getting
whole
an
thing
abortion?
happened, yeah, I'm thinking about it. No, I actually
he was aborted.
I talked on a slightly different note. I would talk to my wife about it, and I'm gonna sign up for a vasectomy later this year, just because I don't want to be put in a position where if I needed to choose, because I don't know where I would. I don't believe that I would ever encourage anyone in my family to have an abortion, but not having the option makes me nervous for them and being forced to deal with the situation, right? Be it as it may, regardless of your political affiliation, religious views, whatever the case is, it's a choice that I don't want to have to make or back when we don't have the choice to, you know, make that decision. But my mind went to when it all happened. I was like, being a group that I don't even want to say we have a platform. We have very, very, not even, I don't even want to say low viewership. We're called the Nobody Entertainment Podcast for a reason.
Yeah.
We have no viewership. Our videos are getting on average of 7 to 20 views a week. But I
More
wanted
than
to,
I thought.
yeah, I just wanted a chance to kind of talk it through and kind of process it, because I feel like not just us with no viewership, I feel like people have an obligation. People that have a platform carry some form of obligation to get their conversation. Again, the conversation is the problem. The lack of conversation, the lack of interaction, the lack of knowledge. Because these people, that's why I made the joke at the beginning. Sorry, I've gone off on more of a tangent than I wanted to here, but when I made the joke at the beginning, I want to go full mental and kill all babies, because that's the idea that's in place. It's, well, why do you want to kill babies? It's not that we want to. It's not that we believe that we
Stop, Spike.
don't want the babies to live and exist. It's, there are reasons that abortion is a good thing. But if you put everyone in a box, that creates a problem. And that's what's been done, in my
Well,
opinion.
here's
It's
the
been
deal.
put in a
Everybody
box.
needs to get together, and abortion is a tool that is useful in certain situations.
Like a
And if you
shovel.
don't want people to use the tool, then they need to come up with uh, ways to alleviate that. Whether it's like, you're poor, you can't raise it. You're mentally unstable, you shouldn't have kids. You were raped, you don't want to carry the baby. Money needs to be donated into the science to like raise a fetus outside of the womb. Economic stability, are they in an abusive household? If you are married to a man or a woman that is abusive, do you want to bring a child into that environment? The answer is no. So we need to look as a society, raise funds, pass laws to where people don't want to abort their baby.
I think I agree with what you're saying completely, and I think there are circumstances.
But we're just going to go ahead and say, oh, you don't get to use the tool.
In the world that we live in now, I think that we need to either go, if we're going to go into this camp where all
Well, I'm not
abortion
in
is
the camp.
illegal for a lot of these states, right? All abortion is illegal no matter what, end of story. Then we need to go the complete other way and allow me to insure the life of this fetus from the moment of conception. Get a life insurance policy. Get
Oh, wait,
health,
yes.
and that way I get paid whenever that miscarriage takes place. That way my wife can get paid time off whenever she inevitably,
Bereavement.
or yeah, exactly, has, not inevitably, but whenever she has an unplanned miscarriage. And also in these circumstances where these women are going to be charged with murder whenever they have a miscarriage, because did they do
No, the
something?
doctors do. They put it more of the onus on doctors because they
No,
don't want to
there
punish
are
women.
women that have been are being punished for having miscarriages.
Yeah, so it's like up to the
So
state kind of thing. But I like where
with your
James is going. Let's
with your
bankrupt
same
those.
your conversation with the vasectomy, we had that conversation as well. Because I have PCOS, which means I have infertility issues. It doesn't mean if I did get pregnant, it would most likely be a miscarriage either way. And so
Murder.
knowing knowing that if this snowballs and we do become a state where a miscarriage is fetal homicide or manslaughter, can I just be punished for having a condition? Can I be put in prison because I had a miscarriage because my womb doesn't work right?
And
And so
not even to that extreme, Kayla. Not only
no,
will you be punished because you had a miscarriage, but to what lengths will you have to go to prove that it was a natural miscarriage? And how much
yes,
pain are you going to have to go through to prove that you trying to conceive wasn't an attempt to murder an unborn
yeah,
baby?
and then
And trauma for a woman. It's just ridiculous.
and then how
I'm sorry. I don't mean to
No,
keep.
you're good. It's also the like when is birth control going to be harder to get? Like what's the next thing that's going to make it just
Now.
are we
Yeah.
just are we a breeding culture, or is that what we're turning into?
Yeah,
Or
we're trying to revert our rights back to animalistic nothings. We're just animals in the system, and the only people that are
yeah.
worth anything are the 1%, the millionaire elites, which they
So,
don't,
would you
of course
guys
they're going to have all
approve
those
of
rights.
this?
I told you what I approve of, John. Kill
At the time of
all
puberty,
babies.
at the time of puberty, we go ahead and you get a vasectomy. If you're planning for a family, that's when we undo it.
Like you have to prove
100%.
you have to pass a test to reverse it.
Yep.
No, well, not necessarily just a test, but we look
Question
at your
number 1, are you an
financials.
awker?
We look at your history.
Are you a
you
troll?
committed of any crime or anything like that? So you have to be approved by the government to have a child.
Absolutely.
I would go that route.
Sure. Let's start criminalizing it on the men's side and get rid of the whole idea that the women are the ones that have to carry the entire burden.
Well, see,
But
yeah,
again,
done.
I'm just a
Catholic,
man. What does my
sorry,
opinion
no
matter?
children for you.
It's just a
See?
scary time. It's a
It is
scary time.
It is a scary time, and again, I do want to apologize to the few viewers and to you guys. I don't mean to
Oh, this
spring
is
it on
already
you, but
over.
this is a very big piece. So that's my last thought. That's my last opinion on it. Do you guys have any closing statements on this? I'm not trying to cut you off.
No.
Not for this.
Well, with that being said, we'll move on. We'll transition. So try to get into some things that are a little bit more fun and
Too
entertaining.
late. We're already Debbie down.
And
Yeah.
what?
Debbie downed.
That's fine. That's fine. We can have a one-off.
Thanks
where
for
we're a little
fucking this up,
serious.
James.
It's my pleasure. I guess we'll turn it into or transition into what's been entertaining us. So, John, do you want to start us off? Do you have anything that's been entertaining you, or do you
Well,
want me to kick it off?
Of course, I have things that were or have been entertaining me.
Were,
Okay.
no more.
No more, yeah. Well, I watched that Morbius film.
Or more BS.
Yeah, Morbius.
More BS. Get it? No.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I
moving
get it. Whatever. It's dumb. Don't watch it. It's a pseudo vampire genetic modification film, and
Wasn't it like day one? Everyone said it was dumb.
yeah, but I
Why
don't.
why
pay
did you
attention to that
watch
shit.
it?
So real quick before John goes into this anymore, Morbius, which was released earlier this year in theaters. I don't have the dates in front of me. It stars Jared Leto
Mhm,
or Leto,
there.
whatever you want to call him. It is
Leto.
It is a Marvel property, but it is owned by Sony and was released in the theaters. It's the story of a sick man a sick doctor that is studying different ways to cure his ailments, and in that process, he's utilizing vampire bats and splices his DNA with those vampire bats, I believe. Am I doing this justice?
No.
I haven't seen the movie. This is off the top of my head. So give us a little background on what the movie even is.
Okay, he's got like some genetic disorder that makes him weak. They don't really live that long. I forgot what the disorder is called. It's in the blood. Anyhow, he's a genius. He's quite wealthy. He created some synthetic blood, which has saved many lives. He is looking for a cure for their genetic abnormality. He's got a friend. He ends up taking.
He's got a friend.
He's got a friend who
Key
also
plot
has the
point.
same condition.
He has genetics
Momo or
and a
whatever they
friend.
call him. Yeah, bad genetics. Anyhow, he goes to pick up vampiric bats and then uses their modified DNA inside of him, probably through CRISPR, to modify a rat's DNA and then his. Good for him, but then it turns out he has like uncontrollable thirst and violent rages, and he's basically on a downhill spiral. And this film has no conclusion whatsoever, and it's trash. Yeah,
dead.
it's definitely garbage. Throw it away, bury it dead. Been playing that Revenge
Hold on,
of
Kayla.
Shredder.
Mhm.
What? You said what
What's-
is entertaining you, John? I get to go through all my shit.
Kayla, what's been entertaining? We're just going to ignore John.
What the
He's
fuck?
going to talk while you're
Oh,
talking.
Round
Okay,
robin.
we started.
What the
we
hell's got? He's so angry. I wish I had a mute button.
we started watching The Bear.
I've never heard of this.
It's on Hulu. They just dropped it, I think, this week. It's an FX show. It's about a chef who is a James Beard award nominee. He used to work in like one of the, probably like a Michelin
What the
star.
shit is a James Beard Award nominee?
It's like if you're a chef, you've made it. Like it's like
Is this real? Like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is a
a
real
real-
life thing.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of this.
And so he worked in like a Michelin star restaurant, and then he worked at Noma, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a very famous restaurant in Copenhagen. Very meticulous, like
What the shit is Copenhagen? No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
Former two.
Anyways, so the whole premise of the show is that his brother left him his Chicago restaurant. It's just like this beef sandwich restaurant that's really shitty, and he's there and he's trying to elevate it, but it's diner quality staff, so he's having a lot of issues. It's really good.
And is it it's a mini series, or is it a full on show, or is it
Full show? Yeah,
okay?
it's
And
really good.
An FX show. FX has a good history.
Yeah, it's called The Bear, and I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm hooked. It's so good. But basically, like, his brother committed suicide and left him this shitty diner, and he's this amazing chef, and no one respects him, and no one takes him seriously. And his cousin is like the owner, and so it's just them fighting the entire time. So.
Oh, I'll definitely check it out. It sounds
it's good.
Interesting. I mean, granted, I don't know anything about the chef world, but if John, if I can have your permission, I'm gonna go into one of mine real quick, and then we'll come back to
Look
you.
at his
Is that
face.
okay?
He's so mad.
He is angry. He's like, I was on a roll, goddammit.
Well, I was
He's
reading
so-
about the stupid James Beard Award, and it's only been around since 1990.
So what he's done now is he's transitioned into just straight fuck it mode, and he's
James
like, I'm not even
Beard-
recording anymore.
James Beard used to be. It was like a prominent chef, and so.
Yeah. I've already read all about it. But like Michelin, it's the United States is like, we've got an award too, because the Michelin's been around since 1926.
But
So-
you have to be a really good chef to be even nominated, and when you get nominated, like you can sell yourself as I'm a nominee. You don't even have
What
to
makes
win
me
it.
feel good about this is that John didn't know what the James Beard Award was
I
either.
didn't.
So I appreciate you looking it up, because I thought she was just part of the show and she was just moving on with life. I'm
No.
like, that doesn't seem real.
I think I should say this. I've watched every season of Top Chef since it aired,
Gotcha.
which it's season like 17.
What's that
Seven-
Julia show on HBO Max about that British
Oh,
chef
about
woman?
Julia Childs, and she's not British.
She just talks weird.
Yeah, she's American.
She's not British. She's strange.
She just talks like that. I don't know. It's really crazy.
Hello, I'm Julia Childs.
That actually sounds. It does
So-
sound like.
I don't know. It played to me as a British woman. I didn't know if she was just a goofy person, but I mean, I don't know. Did you watch that?
No.
All right.
No.
Well, I'm
Moving on.
I'm glad we had that conversation. So, John, if with your blessing, I'll jump into one of mine real quick.
You don't have it, but I'm assuming you'll continue.
Fair enough. I've got one that might interest you. Have you heard of a game called Disc Room?
Disc
Judging by your-
Room?
Disc Room. ROOM.
No.
So, with that in mind, there is a game. I found it on Game Pass while I was, perusing the other day, and it's called Disc Room. It was released on October 22nd of 2020 to the Nintendo Switch, Steam, and then Xbox. This is a game. It's very simple. And I thought of you because this game would be perfect on a Steam Deck. It would be perfect for that. You start out as just basically it's an arcade game, right? And you start out as it's like a top-down. You're a human, and you start out in this room that has these spinning blades. And the goal is just to survive as long as you can in that room. And it's a square room, very much in the vein of Smash TV, the old like 1990s arcade game, if you remember that. But there's no shooting. You're just a human standing in a room with a bunch of spinning discs. And as it starts to multiply, it starts to divide, it starts to break apart, and you're trying to avoid. So basically, it's I don't know what you would call a shmup, or like a Super Stardust kind of game, but there's no shooting. You're just avoiding the discs. After you survive for a certain amount of time, another room unlocks, and you can progress to the next room. And there are different types of blades. There are different types of ways to die to the blades. Once you once you progress past a certain point, you get certain special upgrades that allow you to dodge, freeze time, stuff like that. And the goal is just as you progress, more and more and more rooms open up. And this seems like a very simple, fun arcade game that would be perfect on a Steam Deck kind of system. So you could play on the go. But I will say, I looked it up, and I believe the cost of it on Steam is something in the ballpark of $19.99. Is that correct, based on the fact that it looks like you're looking at it now?
No, it's $7.49 right now.
Okay, which that price seems about right to me. Anything under $10, I think it's something, if this sounds interesting to you, I think it would, again, I don't think you're going to spend 10 hours in this game, but it's the perfect kind of game you might jump in for 15, 20, 30 minutes on a train and enjoy it. and then put it down. And then the next time you're on a train, you're like, I'm going to jump into a disc room for a little bit, and you play it for 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then you put it down. And then it's one of those games that you're just continuously picking up and just putting a little bit of time into. So you'd probably top out around realistically, in my opinion, 5-hour mark. I don't know how long it is. I put about an hour into it myself. And then every day I'm like, I want to jump back in for a little bit, but it's on my Xbox. So I'm not going to go downstairs, fire it all up to play a game that I know I'm going to play for 15, 20, 30 minutes. So that's the reason I wanted to bring this game up. It's a unique idea. It adds new and interesting challenges to die to 20 different types of blades, to survive in a room for less time. So your goal is to die as fast as possible. Other rooms, it's again to survive as long as possible. There are bosses in the game that you have to collect these little Pac-Man-like orbs, and it does damage to the boss. So if you collect 20 of those orbs, it defeats the boss, and you can move on to the next room, which has, again, new, different, strange challenges. So it's a very interesting concept. It's a very old, I say very old, it's a few years old at this point. But if you can get it for a cheap price, it'd be perfect for the Steam Deck, I think. I'm going to kick it back to John. What's the next thing on your list that's been entertaining you, John? We can't wait.
Hurry up, John.
I'm sorry. So James suggested I get this game called Inscryption, which I played the demo, and it was a decent game. You've got cards. Cards have animals. There's something a little sinister going on. You find out you're playing cards to this character that is telling you your story. You're playing against him. Well, I can't tell if he's a demon or whatnot. But I've gotten to the point where I'm fighting the second boss, the Angler, and there's no way for me to win. Apparently, for the storyline to progress, you have to have died in the game. I'm very competitive, definitely a perfectionist when it comes to these kind of things, so I don't like to die. I'm at a point where I've stopped playing the game because I defeat the boss within 2 or 3 moves, and then it like says too quick, too soon or something, and then puts 2 rows of impossible to beat creatures, an army in front of me. So there's no possible way for me to win, and I find it very frustrating. Other than that, the game is fine. If you can lose to continue the game, it's a great game. It's dark, it's mysterious. I like it, but that pisses me off. So that's all I'm gonna say about
with that in mind, the thing about the game is it's very meta. I'm excited for you to progress further in the game. So what I did, I'm very similar to you, except I'm in almost an obsessive way competitive to the point where if I lost, I was exiting out of the game because you can load right back in and actually run it again.
Oh,
right where you start, right where you left off. So I was doing that to make sure that I could keep pushing forward. And there are times that you just can't do that because you have to get up. It's again, it's a very meta game. It gets involved. It goes deep. It gets involved in real life. It's very, very strange because it starts out playing exactly like you notice this when you start the game. There's no start button. You have to hit continue, right? And that plays into the whole storyline. I've not beat the game, but I got to the point where I was like, I'm just curious to what was even happening here. So I looked up a bunch of spoilers on it, and I wish I hadn't. So I don't want to reveal too much about it because it's incredibly interesting. What I will say is once you beat the main card game, I think there's only 3 maps, and then you fight a really hard boss and you beat him, which I've done. Then it starts you back over, and you have to do it again, but it doesn't tell you anything. But when you get up and you start walking around, because not only are you playing this card game, you can get up and explore this cabin that your character is in that's playing the card game. You start to find different things, and you can use different pieces of the environment to solve puzzles. And it's very, very, very cool. It's a very cool game. Again, even though I never finished or haven't fully finished the game, for me, it is a Gaga game. I think it's amazing based on what it does. That's also a Devolver Digital game, mind you. They just scoop up these weird little indie titles and they hope they hit.
It's a good game. It's just frustrating. That's all.
All right, Kayla, do you have anything else that's been entertaining you this week?
I did realize, last week we did all the things we're looking forward to,
Mhm.
and I left out two things. Westworld, number one, which just launched this week. So I'll probably start watching Westworld season 4 probably this week. And then season 2 of Undone on Amazon Prime.
I don't know anything about Undone, so I'm not sure.
What's his face? The actor from like Better Call Saul. Do you know who I'm
Okay,
talking about?
Bob
He's-
Odenkirk.
Yes, he's in it. But it is an animated show. But they film it and then they animate it on top of it. It's really cool.
You had me at Bob Odenkirk. I love
Yeah.
him.
It's I don't even want to ruin it. It's just
Is it a comedy or is it a drama?
both.
That's all I'll ask. Okay.
Both.
So
Yeah.
a dramedy. Well, very cool.
It has some time travel in it. It's got some surrealism in it, so it's really nifty.
So
And
it's gonna be like BoJack Horseman. Like it's gonna be funny but a little bit dramatic.
It's not like a cartoon. It's it's like a whole show just animated.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. I didn't even know this existed.
So it's a lot of dialogue, but it's a lot of family oriented because it's her dad. Anyways, that's all I'll say.
With that, I have one more thing that I'll talk about for this episode. I did go see one of the things that was on my top 5 list that we talked about last week, and that is The Black Phone. It was released on June 24th, which was last Friday. It stars Ethan Hawke, James Ranson, or Ransone, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Mason Thames, and then Madeline McGraw. This is a horror film. The basic premise is there is first of all, there's a child that is being bullied and ridiculed and things like that. He doesn't stand up for himself, and he has a very protective sister that has a bit of telekinetic psychological powers where she has dreams that see the future, not so much see the future, but see where things are going to go, I guess. And that's a small piece of the puzzle. And then you have somebody in town called the Grabber that is abducting children and, I don't know, potentially murdering them.
But that's a solution for our abortion problems. We just let the pedophiles and the creeps roll around with their windowless vans again. Done. Boom.
He does have a windowless van, so that is actually a poignant point.
Needs to be balance in nature. So
exactly.
More babies. Let the creeps run.
So this child gets abducted, the one that doesn't stick up for himself, and basically he gets locked in the basement, and then there's a phone that's disconnected that starts to ring, and he's getting called by the souls of the children that were killed before. That's all I'll really say about the actual.
Don't like that.
That's all I'll say about the plot. As the movie played out, I will say that to me it really rang of a Stephen King-like story. Because the girl that has the powers, it never explains it, never goes into any details. She just has powers that don't necessarily always work. But it's interesting. There is an abusive father in the mix, and the story is very Stephen King-esque. Come to find out, afterwards, when I look into it, it's written by Stephen King's son. It was a short story. It's a movie that was adapted and made from a short story from him. So that really... It doesn't surprise me in the least, but I found it interesting that it falls so closely into the vein of a Stephen King movie. Overall, as a horror film, I wouldn't even call it that. It's a thriller. There are 2 or 3 jump scares that kind of got me in the theater. The acting is phenomenal. I thought that Ethan Hawke did fantastic. The children in the movie are fantastic. There's a couple of jokes that really land in the movie, but overall it is a thriller. It's not scary, but it keeps you kind of not so much guessing. It keeps you entertained in its shortish runtime. I'd say it's about an hour 50, and it never overstays its welcome. And I will say, as a conclusion, I felt like this movie would come across a bit ambiguous, and it does a nice job of wrapping itself up. I won't say anything more about it, but where I stand, I think it falls into the great category. I was very, very entertained. I was very pleasantly surprised, and I'm kind of a Ethan Hawke fan, so I like him in a lot of the stuff that he's in. He had a kind of an understated, smaller role, but it plays out in a good way. So, again, I'm giving it a grade. That's all I have for what's been entertaining me
There's one more I have.
I was gonna say we can kick it back over to you guys.
Stranger Things comes out this Friday, part 2,
How the hell did that happen so fast?
because they split the season.
And they put like 3 weeks between them?
Yes, because they didn't finish editing them.
That's
So now-
really weird.
so now
Why didn't
they're
they just wait?
I don't know.
So
I
are they
don't-
they're gonna release the entire second half
This
of
Friday.
season 4 this Friday?
Yes. Yeah.
This release calendar makes no sense to me. John, has there been anything else that's been entertaining you?
Besides playing the Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge? No.
Have you beat it yet?
No. But I did switch to the story mode with my wife.
Gotcha. And how does it play on co-op? I only played it single player. I did beat it.
It's pretty good. I just wish I had a partner. The new ninjas. No, it's completely fine. It can be
What
a
if
little.
she doesn't know ninjas and she understands turtles?
Gotta have the ninja.
Gotcha.
Because it's more ninja than it is turtle.
Sure.
But
A
the
lot of
thing.
turtle.
What?
A lot of turtle though.
Is it?
Fair enough.
Look at their DNA. You gotta look at it.
They're 97% ninja, 3% turtle.
Exactly. You can't judge a book by its cover, nor can
Mhm.
you a turtle. You gotta lift
Fair
the
enough.
shell. You gotta lift the shell, see what's on the inside. It's mostly ninja. No, it's fine. It does. I don't think it increases the difficulty, although I did when we were playing together. But it does, like, you're down for the count, and there's a counter. I think it's like 6 seconds or something like that. And it sucks when your partner or whoever you're playing with is like trying to get to you, but the boss is still like kicking the shit out of him, and you're just like, get me, and it doesn't work out. So, but it's fun. It's a fun little game.
So, as you stand, not having beat it, are you teetering on the good scale? Is
No,
that
it's
where
good.
you feel?
It's good. I think it'll have playability, like replayability. So it's good.
That's the one piece of the puzzle. I think I explained this in the previous conversation we had, but I did beat the game. I made the mistake of picking Michelangelo, my least favorite turtle, because I thought it would have a lot more quick replayability. I thought it would be a shorter story and you'd be able to kind of work your way through it very quickly. It took me about 2.5, 3 hours to beat, which is not that bad. I'm not saying that's a long time, but it immediately made me regret picking Michelangelo. I wish I would have gone with one of the turtles that I cared more about, like a Leonardo or a Raphael, or even a Splinter, or even an April, just to see what her play
Hey,
style.
bro, O'Neil, man.
Yeah, is
Be
that what
cool
your
if you
wife
could
plays
get
as?
different skins for these turtles, like modify them, like get a little skimpy thing for April O'Neil, or like,
Why do you go right to objectifying
huh,
women?
I'm not even done yet.
Oh, we're
Okay,
gonna go
thank you
further.
for
Okay.
interrupting. Or you know how the turtles had the samurai gear from the third movie? Like just be able to change out their outfits.
Gotcha. Put more clothes on the turtles, less clothes on the women.
Yeah, have you seen a turtle's dick?
I think I have. It was upsetting.
Whoa, pervert. Anyhow, so there's my reasoning.
Yeah, it was like a Reddit video or something, and there was this big old weird turtle dick.
No.
I haven't seen it. I don't even think they're big. I
I'll
don't
send
even
it
think.
to you if
Do
I
they
can
even
find it
have
again.
it? Yeah.
Do turtles have dicks? Who knows? Who knows?
Scientists.
All right.
Who knows? There's no way to
So,
know.
we've all extinguished all of our items that were on our list of what's been entertaining us. So now we're going to kind of get to the topic at hand. And that topic that I proposed to you guys that I think we all took exactly no time to think about. So we can maybe even just we can teamwork this. We can workshop this. The idea was building the best man cave, right? So the idea that I had originally was, I would go around and I would build the best man cave for John, and then I would build the best man cave with quotations for Kayla, and then they would do the same for me, and so on and so on and so on. And then at the end, we would kind of just talk about what our ideal man caves would include, right? And I thought it'd just be a fun idea. So instead of going round robin and just saying, okay, now I'm going to build John's, then I'm going to build Kayla's, right? We'll take turns and we'll team up and we'll build the best man cave and we'll just talk it out. We'll see how it falls, and maybe we'll give each other some fantastic ideas for what they may want to include in their man cave one day. So with that being said, or that in mind, I guess I'll start with this. Do you guys have what you would consider to be a man cave in your homes?
No.
No.
All right. So I don't, but basically my basement is starting to turn into my man cave. I was talking to my wife last night, and there's small pieces of the puzzle. I mean, for Father's Day, she bought me a dartboard, so I'm working on getting that installed. I brought it up, the arcade one up, the Mortal Kombat 2. It's a 2/3 size replica cabinet of the arcade game of Mortal Kombat 2, which includes other games and stuff. So basically, my basement is turning into my man cave. She's bought me both of these, if you can see them, my Batman Lego heads, and I sit here in front of my record player.
That shit out.
But basically, my basement is turned into my man cave. So I guess I have to transition into from a no to it's kind of, even though there are other people that come into my space, I'm just gonna have to lock the door, I guess. I don't know. But
So my question is,
yeah,
how big is the man cave? Like, how big can it be?
my thought is we'll say, think of the
Excuse me.
smallest. You're fine. Think of the smallest bedroom in your house,
Okay.
and that would be what would be the man cave in
Hmm.
question. So here's what I'm putting out there. Not who wants to start. Who has a good idea for who, and then we're going to team up on that person, and we're going to break down their man cave. So, does anyone want to kick it off?
Well, I asked about the size because I felt like with John, it had to have like a secret entrance, right?
Okay.
So it'd have to be almost 2 rooms.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the
I'm
other
interested.
room is like a warehouse.
I'm interested where this is going because I had some good ideas for John too.
Okay.
So this is going to start off Kayla and I. We're gonna throw it out on John here. We're gonna build John. We're gonna build you the best man cave in my mind. So Kayla, what we'll do is we're just gonna go back and forth,
Okay.
and we're each gonna add something. Okay.
Can I add
So-
things as they come up?
You can comment. You're not gonna add anything until you get to
Can I
build your own
negate
at the end.
things?
You can
Oh.
discuss it, but it will not be negated. The first thing I'm going to throw in there, I'm going to do a quick 2. Okay, my first 2
go.
things. Number 1, we're giving him a treadmill. All right,
Yes.
he's got to have a treadmill in his man cave because he's got to be able to get his run on. Number 2, he needs 2 pink 5-pound weights.
Pink? 5
Pink.
pound?
So we're going to make sure that you can get your
Swole on?
weights on, your swole on, your
Yeah.
swell on. So I want to make sure you can run.
I'm
I'm looking at you
swell.
physically, John. I'm fixing that muffin top for you. We're getting that treadmill. We're getting those
That's a life
5-pound weights.
preserver, okay?
Well, that's not going to be there by the time you're done in your man cave. Kayla, what's your first, maybe
Okay.
second?
No, I'm just going to tell you what I envisioned for John. You walk into a room, it looks like an old German pub, right?
Okay. Underground.
Classy.
It's got to be underground.
I do like
Wood
underground.
walls, the old lights, not a lot of technology, like OG, the glasses, the whiskey, all of it. And then behind that is like like a Berlin like sex club.
What are you guys crazy?
Gotcha.
That's the 2 sides of John, right? Like you have the old school classy John who will sit there in his suit with the whiskey, but then you also have techie John with all the lights and the music and the theater and all that.
So you're envisioning a retro foreign dance club mixed with mixed with
Yes.
a folky pub.
But that's the false entrance, yeah.
Gotcha. So the false entrance is going to have the treadmill? I'm not that has
There
to be
is-
there. This is somewhere John's going to go in his leisure time while trying to get
I-
away from his wife.
So if it's a real
Think
like
he's going to go to a
cave-
dance club?
No. So that's what I had first thought of, okay?
I'm just going to throw this out there too. Every time John and I have ever had the opportunity to go to any kind of club, he's either had like tetanus or
It's not
gangrene
even tetanus.
or COVID or whatever he had, syphilis. So anytime, so you're saying every time he's going to retire to that room, he's got to get some kind of like diabolical illness.
I still think it doesn't have to be a club or anything in the back, but it has to be 2 parts, the fancy side, and then it has to be more of the tech side with like the game setup and the theater and the gym.
Yeah, he just
You know?
okay. We've got the gym part nailed down. The third thing I was going to add is definitely just the desk with the computer. That's
Yeah.
all he needs, right? Like he needs the desk. And what I was picturing, if I could have drawn this up, what I was picturing was the wood floor that he has in his house now, with a mat, right? An area rug with the face of an orc on it for some
Yeah.
reason.
Oh yeah.
And then in the corner is his computer. And in the other corner, it was going to be the most barren, desolate wasteland. It was going to be a treadmill, 2 pink 5-pound weights, and a computer chair. Oh, and a scratching post for his cats.
I was
forgot
gonna
about
say
that.
I envisioned a really cool cat setup, like with the stacking shelves where they can hop around.
Yeah, but one that he built himself.
Tunnels.
Yeah, again, one he built himself out of old like pizza cardboard or something.
What you guys don't get is that these things are around me all the time. Ever since I started talking on this video, it's here. I need your help. I've been typing to
Maybe-
my wife, come get this cat. Come get this cat.
We should
So
have just
I
done
would
a room of cats,
appreciate
honestly.
I would appreciate if my man cave was a cat-free zone.
Oh, okay.
You want to be cat free?
What
I
about
was
the
gonna.
fight?
I was about to scratch it and say nothing but strays. Just a room
That's
of stray
outside.
cats.
I can just go outside. That's my man cave.
Don't stop at cats. He saves all the animals.
That's true.
Raccoons,
Okay,
possums.
so he's
street
gonna have
cats.
raccoons,
The
possums,
chicken.
and cats in his man cave, and then there'll be what looks like one of those rape buttons that locks the door on his desk. But what it does is it opens up the secret entrance. The rug, the orc rug, opens up.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down the
Just a
lower
map
level.
of it. Wow.
It's that techno.
It's like a cellar.
Yeah, it's a cellar, but
Some
it's
wine.
it's the techno pub.
So I
Cellar.
think we're on the right track of classy John, techno John, animal saving loving John,
I think you guys are crazy. It's
It-
supposed to
it's
be a man cave.
It's early.
workout John.
It's early 2000s rage metal, not techno dance music.
Yeah, I
It's
need an
just-
industrial.
I feel like
Yeah.
John hasn't liked any of these ideas.
No, not really. I mean, besides the treadmill.
So we went on the treadmill. All right, John, who do you want to go after?
Tell Tony to shut the hell
Yeah,
up. I hear
I
his like
know.
goofy ass laugh.
I was going to say this to the end, but we'll just start this now. Hashtag fuck Tony.
Yeah.
All right, so John, who do you want to go
Or-
after?
or this-
You could
Let's
turn
go after
this around.
Kayla. Let's go after Kayla.
Do it. I'm gonna
Okay.
text Tony to shut the hell up.
You do it because that's gonna be the start of a beautiful man cave for yourself as a Tony free zone. Okay.
So
Oh
I
my
was
God,
going to
yes.
ask
with
that, John.
insulation in
Hold
the
on, hold on,
walls
John,
to keep
John,
out
John.
that annoying fucking laugh.
Oh,
John,
yeah.
But
that we-
hold on, I'm
it's
not
a-
done.
that we know.
Kayla,
Hold on,
you're gonna
hold on,
have
hold on.
soundproofing for yourself, but then you're gonna have
Okay.
a microphone with giant loud speakers outside of your room, so that
yeah,
when you
okay.
do need to bitch and yell at Tony, you can just
Yeah.
hit that fucking button and just be like, "You sorry sack of worthless worm meat."
See, that
That's
was my
what you
question.
Get up and close your own door.
Speaking
Hey,
of
Kayla,
which-
Kayla, I have a shovel.
He has
you
a
always
shovel.
say that.
Listen,
So-
listen,
I
keep
have a
it in, James, because the world needs to know how that motherfucker laughs, and it's on the
I
edge
love
of
it.
chaos.
I love it.
Yeah, not
When
until
he
it's coming
laughs,
for you
I
in a windowless
smile.
van.
I don't even know what he's laughing about, but I smile.
He doesn't either. That's called psychosis.
Damn it.
He's playing D&D in there. I don't know.
He's not.
On an iPad. So my
Oh,
question
mhm.
to you, Caleb, was
Yeah, go on. Yes, go on.
in your man cave quotes.
hmm
Are you wanting more Tony or less Tony?
I like it the way it is kind of now. Like in my office, he comes and visits. But this is not his place.
Okay.
Get the hell out.
So what she needs is, like you said, John, a soundproof room with a microphone that could communicate. But think about your we'll go kindergarten or preschool classroom, how they had those 2-part doors that would open the
yes.
whole way, or there's a little latch that you can slide down and just the top opens. And it's a Mr. Ed situation where Tony's waiting on the other side.
Yep, Mr. Ed. That's
So,
So
he's there. He's
We
there.
have that on our front porch. And
Okay.
I just like, it's like a Dutch door, right?
Right.
That's what
But
they
in
call
your
it.
man cave, Tony's on the other side of
Okay.
that door. He's shutting up unless it's a Tony Baloney zone. That door's open. You get the interactions you need.
This ain't
I like
no
it.
Chef Boyardee. There's no Tony's baloney in that room.
So far,
Unless
with
she wants it.
so far you're on the right track.
Okay. So and that you're very artsy fartsy. So I'm imagining one of those
Thank you.
those easels, those desks with all your art shit all over it.
Okay.
And so that's the treadmill of the room. right? That's the
Oh,
John's
okay.
treadmill, right? That's the one thing you get from me. And I guess the 2-stall door, you also get that with Tony happily waiting for
Okay.
you on the other side, not cackling and then coming in and yelling at you because he's mid D&D and slamming the door.
Okay. Okay.
What else you got, John? You know her. You know her.
I got it. I got it. Now this isn't gonna look great, Caleb,
Oh,
but
no.
it's gonna have all the functionality that you need.
Okay.
Okay. You know how they have those giant automotive like organizers on wheels? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You're gonna get one of those.
Just
And it's
one?
gonna have yeah, like it's massive.
Oh,
Like you
okay.
might have to reinforce your floors for this guy. But it's got
Okay.
all the drawers where you can keep all your painting
Okay.
tools and other things organized. You've got that rubber foam mat underneath it so everything can be placed down softly. It doesn't like ding or anything like that. It'll keep you well organized. And here's the great thing, it's on wheels. So if you need to make sure that that door's not going to come open, you just wheel that shit in front of it. Fire
Sure.
hazard? Maybe, but who's calling the fire marshal?
Nobody. And with that in mind, the bottom drawer of that cart is all the electronics that work fine that you think are broken. So the headsets, the controllers, the
It's
keyboards.
just batteries.
They just don't have batteries.
It's perfectly live batteries that you think have died.
I have a whole
just-
basket.
Just sitting in that drawer, right?
The whole room's a wireless charger.
You guys
for
did
her.
good. I'm really impressed.
I feel like we're missing a key component, and I'm not
Yeah,
sure
it's
what it
something
is.
on
Maybe
the
it's
walls.
The key component is that it's in an attic
oh.
and
No.
it has a big
I don't
round
think
window.
You
are a
climbing up to
stairs
an attic
person.
every
She's
time
not a
you need
stairs
alone
person.
time? No,
yeah.
you are
She's not a
not.
stairs person.
I want like a I want to
And
live in a
that
witch
negates
house.
your door. That negates your door, George.
I want to be a
James.
witch in an attic with a big round window.
Kayla, what's your favorite cookie?
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter cookie is your favorite cookie.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So
Sugar, egg, peanut butter.
Kayla, it's a
Yeah,
Hansel
it's
and
good.
Gretel. It's a Hansel and Gretel situation with an attic pull down. She has to climb the ladder, and the entire room is made out of peanut butter cookie.
No. It has like a square staircase going up to the attic.
Okay, so for the listeners, what the shit was this? A little square.
Like a
She's an artist, ladies
Victorian.
and gentlemen.
Just
a
shut up,
square
okay? We all
I've never
want
seen an
all
attic that has that kind of stairwell. That's called the second floor.
Yeah, she wants an upstairs. That's her
doesn't
man
have to make
cave.
sense.
Oh.
Okay?
Or exist.
Okay, this is our room for you. Okay, so basically,
Oh, sorry.
just to recap, John's got an industrial
Which is not going to do well in the
gastropub.
attic.
He's got an industrial gastropub separated into 2 spots with an orc mat
Yes.
that opens up. You have a stairwell that leads to a peanut butter cookie art room with
Yes.
a
Well, she
horse
doesn't get
door.
that. She doesn't get that. That's what she created for herself. She doesn't get
Yeah,
any
you
of
guys didn't.
I'll
You
give her
guys
the
didn't
peanut
tell
butter
me.
cookie room, John.
She gets a range, a refrigerator, a microwave.
Okay,
and
so
a
she gets the
countertop.
essentials. Maybe a hole in the floor for
Yeah.
excrement. All right, we backpedaled. She's lost her rights.
Boom. Yeah, we're
Fine.
talking about. It's 2022. You
Yeah,
don't get
it's
shit.
2022.
It's not the only
women
right
lose
I
their
lost
rights.
this week.
Better quit
so.
your job.
All right, so that's where we fall in the Kayla's room. So I mean, I don't want to look for attention here, but I guess that turns you over to my room. I'll be quiet.
John, go first. Hit it.
I don't even get a
James?
room.
Yeah.
No, you don't get a room. Okay. Evidently his room is gonna have to be privacy laden. So we're gonna have to do some crazy RFID locks on the door that just identifies him by his phone and it opens and shut. And it's gotta be like 4 inches thick. That way if somebody is trying to talk outside the door or even knock on the door, the chances that James is gonna hear it are slim to none. I really do think that he's gonna have to have at least 2 cabinets that have not RetroPie. What's the dang? There's an open source version or whatever where he can hit a physical button to change what environment he's playing on. Just 2 cabinets though. 2 cabinets.
Is that the
One's-
Raspberry Pi thing that you're talking
No,
about?
no.
Okay.
No. Anyhow, I'm not done. But I think that's a good start off. not sure about the couch or the carpet or anything. Kayla, what do you got for me?
I put down like a barcade situation. Like a bar with some arcade machines.
That has
A
nothing
big
Miller Lite draft beer.
Yeah, it's like a
I
single
put
tap.
that the room would be Packers colors with some Packers stuff. And I put a big ass TV with a big couch.
So I'm getting lazy vibes here.
No, I know you like games, movies, TV.
That's true. And I appreciate where this is at. I like the soundproof nature of this room that I'll be given. I'm not sure who's funding this, but John, how much is that going to run me?
You're not gonna want it.
It's
We're
too
talking about
pricey.
like a survive nuclear bomb door kind of thing.
I'm into it because even just sitting down here right now, and the dog upstairs gets the zoomies. It's like halfway through the podcast here.
I did
its
not put
pooping.
gym equipment on either of yours.
John, what
Really?
weights am I getting? Am I getting like 30, 40, 50 pound weights, or
Why do you
I'm
guys
just
want
You get
workout equipment in
you
your
get
man
Kegel
cave?
balls.
I gotta stay tight, for the ladies.
I think that you guys are
To
messing
keep your
up.
man cave tight.
What do you mean we're messing up? This
Why are
is
you guys putting workout stuff in your
because
man cave?
because I know
Have you
what
ever
John
wanted
likes.
to like run away the stress of the day?
Yeah.
The man cave is supposed to be about entertainment,
No, it's about
and
escape.
escaping.
Yeah.
Escape.
Sometimes a good run
your
makes
mind,
you feel
yeah.
good. I told you earlier in this conversation that the first time I felt good in weeks was going out for a run this morning.
Fine.
You're like, you want a
I'll give
cookie
you a
room made of
treadmill.
peanut butters.
I never said about anything cookies. You asked me about the cookies.
Okay, just a stack of cookies in Kayla's
I
room.
want a library and an artist studio, okay? In an attic, so I can be a witch.
So you want a library in an attic?
Yeah.
And a studio. You don't need electronics. You don't like my
No.
my basket of broken shit.
I think
That's
I'm
not actually broken.
too bougie for this assignment because I'm like, no, I would have a game room.
Yeah, you don't get a house.
You know?
You're not getting a
Like you guys would have
house.
a gym,
You get
and then the man
treadmill.
cave.
And she calls it a gym.
And 5 pound weights, John.
Oh, my
Pink
bad.
ones.
I'm sorry. I noticed your
Didn't even get the
discomfort
Bowflex.
I noticed your discomfort with the 5 pound weights, so we'll drop it down to 2.5 pound weights.
I appreciate it. Now I can run my 10 miles per hour with the weights in the hand.
I think you guys kind of just generally nailed mine. I just need some retro shit. I like
Yeah.
if you gave me 2 arcade cabinets that somehow housed every retro arcade game, and I don't even need the new stuff. Give me I don't know one way to communicate with you guys via video games, an online game. I don't know. Give me the Call of Duty or whatever the case is. And then retro cabinets and like you said, a big TV and a couch, and I want my exercise equipment. I love poker. I'm a huge poker fan, so if
Poker table.
you give me a big ass poker table is always good. And then music, so just a way to listen to my Spotify. That's all I need. I'm a happy camper if I can do that. John, what did we miss for you? We got it all wrong for you. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get.
I'm
What
a
is John's dream here?
I would love a very clean, minimalist setup. The computer actually folds into the wall, so I don't have to see it when I don't need
Okay.
to, and I can like pull it out. No cats, so I don't have to clean up hair or any of that stuff. Just
Or
a very
wives.
blank space, very quiet space. If I wanted to read a book, I could pull up my Kindle or an actual book and like be void of everything else around me, no distractions. I'm not
Do you wanna
saying I have
feel-
ADHD, but it's kind of nice just to not notice anything ever.
Do you want to feel like you're in a spaceship, like no windows?
I was thinking the exact same thing, Kayla.
No,
like
I was
because
like,
I
sterile
do
walls.
like
black,
I
paint
do
it
like
black
sterile walls. I don't need
with a
anything
couple
else.
of glow in the dark stars or something like that.
Well,
I
see,
was
that's
thinking
the
white
thing. I don't need
walls.
painting on the walls. I could use like white wall, and then I
Attic.
can have like LED strips
Mhm.
that like broadcast down, so I could change the color if need be for said walls.
Mood walls.
But I also
You
need I do need a table that pops up somewhere, so that if I wanted to have people over, the boys play a board game or something like that. I
Why
can have that.
why is everything retractable in your room?
Because it needs to go away.
He's
I
a
don't need it there
modular type
It
of
doesn't
guy.
need collect dust. It needs to just get out of my way
I
when
see.
it doesn't
So
need
it needs to fold up. It needs to stay pristine.
Ooh, what if the whole room, all the walls had things in it, and then everything can get put away?
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
everything is on wheels, and the wall cutouts are there, so you could pull the desk out and then roll it back into the wall.
You could pull
roll the
a
table
couch
out,
out.
roll the couch out. Yeah. So everything is rollable because having everything folded up into the wall at some point becomes not realistic. So we'll have little rollouts for you.
Everything can happen.
So a room
Everything.
full of panels of stuff.
So John gets his panels. So we're Nick's in the gastropub. He gets
Yeah.
very modern rollout cutting, cutout rollout. I don't know what I'm saying. But, so that is
Okay.
what we're looking for in a man cave. That's what we want. So those of you that are not watching and not listening, by all means, sound off in the comments and let us know what you're looking for in a man cave. And also,
We're in a man.
last thing I'll mention is we are available on Apple Podcasts. So if anybody is interested in just listening to this, doesn't have to watch it in the YouTube format, you can always hop on Apple Podcasts and take a listen. Otherwise, keep following. Feel free to throw out some views, subscribes, all that fun stuff, and we will go from there. So this will do it for episode 32 of the Nobody Entertainment Podcast. John, hit me with a little bit of that knowledge.
Oh shit.
And with that,
yeah.
this has been the Nobody Entertainment Podcast for Kayla and Nobody John and myself, James. We will see you guys next week.
That's right. And shovels can bury more than a body.